Capital rotation in motion, trading the shift as ETH and quality alts lead the charge. Man, this market is on fire. Hey guys, it's Keith Allen. Let me get things adjusted here. Busy week, busy morning. I got a lot going on here, and I have got not a lot of time. So we're going to jump into things really quickly so that we can cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. If you're new to the stream, welcome. My name is Keith Allen. I'm a work-from-home dad. I'm a full-time trader, and I'm co-founder of Material Indicators. I'm glad to have you with me. If you are an OG, thanks for returning. I truly appreciate your ongoing support. As always, live chat is open. Love to hear your comments. If you got questions, I'll do my best to answer them. And if you have insights, please share them. We all learn here together. Do me a favor, smash some buttons for me. Help me grow the channel. Hit that like, hit the subscribe so you don't miss any of the data and alpha I share with you guys on the regular. And you could help me out even more by sharing this and bringing some of your fellow traders and community members into the mix here. I want to go ahead and dive in quickly because like I said at the top of this thing, I'm short on time, and I've got a busy few days. We're moving next week, so I've got some business stuff going on here through the remainder of the week that's going to have me limited access here. So I wanted to make sure I got something out to you guys before I was kind of offline for a bit. So let's just start here with I think a chart that really illustrates a lot. And that is this chart I had created for you guys really a while ago. We're tracking Bitcoin dominance. We're tracking total 3 ES, which is the top 100 crypto assets minus Bitcoin, minus ETH, and minus stables. And we're tracking stablecoin dominance. And of course, we're now tracking ETH dominance as well. And what you can see here, the most notable thing is that Bitcoin dominance has now declined below 60% for the first time since like February. Okay. So this is significant. And what is more interesting is the dynamic between total 3 ES here, which signals that quality alts are moving. And of course, ETH dominance here, which is a big story as ETH approaches all-time highs. The wild card here, the variable is the stablecoin dominance. You want to see stablecoin dominance dropping like this so that the money, it illustrates that money is rotating into other assets. In this case, it's rotating into ETH and alts. As you can see, it's not rotating so much into Bitcoin. And so a lot of this money actually that's coming in isn't necessarily rotating either. It's new. So the fall in Bitcoin dominance, yes, of course, some money is rotating out of Bitcoin into these other assets, but there's also new money coming in. And that is clearly illustrated here in the ETF flows. And ETH ETF flows have been on the rise. Obviously, there's been a couple of sell days, but for the most part, very strong and outpacing Bitcoin flows at the institutional level here for the better part of the month. And so this is a clear sign. And you've heard, you know, those cliches like follow the money. Well, that's what you want to do. You want to follow the money. If you want to make money in this market, you need to follow the money. And so why is all this happening? Why are we seeing this sudden dynamic shift? Why are we seeing the Bitcoin dominance fall and the and ETH rise and total 3 rise? Well, we've had a big catalyst here recently, and much of that is based around recent crypto legislation that has really paved the way, or opened the door, I should say, for institutions, for banks and other institutions to start developing their own stable coins if they're, and also to start engaging more in the crypto ecosystem. That means they will be offering, eventually they're going to be offering collateralized loans. They're going to be offering onboarding of Bitcoin and ETH, and probably a handful of other probably leading assets in the digital space. So those are all important things. But banks and institutions are now that we have the stablecoin legislation, banks and institutions are literally racing to build or integrate into the blockchain. So that's a big aspect of what's going on. The other big narrative, the ETH Treasury narrative, is just absolutely exploding. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out, because there is going to be, right now it seems like everything's going to go to ETH because that's, ETH has the first mover advantage. But we could start to see some of these major players building their own proprietary blockchains to start to, have some autonomy from ETH. So, that's a ways out and going to be interesting to see how that develops. But for now, what it means is we're seeing the clear signs of where capital is flowing. Okay. And this, again, this chart illustrates it very, very well. Capital is flowing into ETH, capital is flowing into quality alts. And so that's where you want to be ahead of this. Whether this develops into a bona fide alt season like we'd seen historically remains to be seen. We've had glimpses of this where you can see these divergences between Bitcoin dominance and the total 3 ES. This is always a good thing to see if you're interested in alts. And we're starting to see that again here, right? So again, whether this develops into that bona fide alt season in the historical sense remains to be seen. In those situations, you go back to, like 2021, you're talking Bitcoin dominance dropping down sub 50%, 45% range. And I just don't know if with the institutional strength behind and interest behind Bitcoin, if Bitcoin dominance will actually drop that low. Maybe it will, but I'm not banking on it. But that doesn't mean that I'm waiting, because the opportunities are here now. And we can illustrate this even further if we go to the material indicators dashboard and look at the 14-day rolling returns for all pairs. And you can see here that we recently came off just a massive drawdown on the majority of alts. 30%, 37%, 53%, 50% drawdown, 32%, 40% drawdown. And now they're starting to recover, okay? And they're recovering in profits here. So they're now starting to work their way up, and you can see these glimpses of red. These are the select coins that are making big moves right now. So the idea here is to look for quality. Don't go meme coin crazy. Yes, there's memes that make money, and you can debate that until you're blue in the fucking face. I don't care. I personally choose quality, and I look for the setups that are coming to me. Now, I'll be honest. I've been trying to add ETH to my position, and ETH has been like a freaking freight train these past couple of days. It's not pulling back, and the all-time high is right here. We're less than, we're now what, about $150 away from the all-time high, and so maybe it will pull back, or maybe it will just blast right through. So that's something we're going to watch. And if we take a peek over at Fire Charts, maybe we can see what we're up against here. Let's do a quick refresh on this guy. It looks like there is, obviously, here on the Bitcoin chart, we see Bitcoin running into some resistance here around the all-time high. That's normal. If we look over on the ETH chart, let's see what the daily looks like. So resistance, but not a ton. I mean, this is I guess relatively speaking, for ETH, it's a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not. So there's about 33 million in ETH Ask liquidity stacked right at the all-time high on Binance. You can see that mega whales are doing some profit taking. Whales are, purple whales are doing a little bit of profit taking as well here in this range. So maybe things will cool off, but you can see there's a TWAP bot in here just accumulating ETH as much as it can. Let's see what that TWAP bot has done in the past 24 hours. 21 million in the past 24 hours on that orange TWAP bot. So that's interesting. So maybe things cool off a little bit and you can find an ETH entry. As I've shared with you guys in the past, um, my favorite way to do it, because quite frankly, the TA is not it's not pulling back to those technical levels. Let's go to ETH here on the MTF mean reversion indicator and see if maybe even tightening up the divergence here. Look at this. Look at these last signals. Just absolutely crushing it, right? 50% profit on this last batch of signals. That goes back to, yeah, this was beginning of the month, right? We had a flurry of signals around that 3,300 range and, even up to the 3,500 range. And this was just great dollar cost averaging buying opportunity here. So I might consider, I think I'm running this at like 1.5% deviation, which is pretty tight, to be honest with you. But, oh, that's at 2%, excuse me. So if you want to be more aggressive, then you tighten up your deviations and look to see if opportunities might present themselves. As you can see, we're coming off of a high right now. So with mean reversion, price likes to spring back to mean, which you see happening right now. And potentially we could get a signal in that 4,600 range. But obviously we need to see things cool off from here. So there's lots of tutorials on using this indicator. If you're interested, you can get some details at materialindicators.com. All the links are in the description there as well. So I kind of like that. This was just the other day. If we dial back that deviation setting to 1.5%, that may be a little bit better. And if you wanted to really get aggressive and go to say a 1% deviation, and I would not go lower than that at this point. But this thing's been so hot that I think, even if there's some drawdown here in the long run, you're going to be okay. So that's just something to think about with ETH. Now, ETH is not the only thing running here, and you can use this on any other asset, right? So let's go back to that, set this back up at 2% and see what maybe Solana looks like, because Solana is also running like mad right now. Solana coming off of a good run too here, and a 2% deviation. You're not going to get a lot at the moment with this price action that we have right now. But I kind of like that, right? My personal Solana position is in good shape right now, so I'm just staking and watching it go up and enjoying that. But what you want to watch for on the Solana chart, or any chart for that matter, is to see how things are faring against these timescape levels. And Solana cleared a very important one here, right? We started the day here back-to-back trend precognition signals. Some confluence here with the A1 trend precognition algo as well. So that's obviously solid. And clearing this yearly open was very, very important. Holding above this, obviously is critically important. So running into a little bit of resistance here at a prior quarterly open. And then the next big hurdle to clear here is this January 6th. That's the first week of the year, and these weekly opens on these annual and quarterly increments seem to matter. I'm not sure why they matter, but they matter. And the reason I know they matter is because if I scroll through the history of the chart, I can see all the times that they've come into play, and so they do matter. And I encourage you, if you haven't seen this indicator yet, it's called Timescape Support and Resistance Levels. And it is making technical analysis really easy. I mean, where you have confluence with the other TA and other indicators, it really, I think, it increases the strength of those levels. And so I would look at the strongest support level right now in this 176, 175, 176 range. A lot of confluence here among these, and of course, the moving average is stacked here. But the 21 right here at this 176, 177 level looks pretty solid here. I'd like to see price hold above this yearly open, though. Maybe it never even goes down there. So if we could get a retest here, that would be an opportunity. And then clearing this January 6th level would then be really the last hurdle to start heading back towards all-time high territory. So this works on any asset on TradingView, so I encourage you to check it out as well. What else do we want to cover here really quick? Again, trying to jam in a lot in a short amount of time. So I think that in terms of how you trade this, you want to be looking for, listen, first and foremost, at least the way I'm trading it. Okay. So I'm not giving you advice. I'm going to tell you how I trade it. I've built my Bitcoin position. I'm building a larger ETH position based on what we're seeing develop here out of ETH. And I'm also trading a little bit of altcoins because of the upside potential, because I want to just rake in more money and use it to buy more ETH and more Bitcoin ultimately. But this is the season to do that. So look for the coins that are meeting your setups and look for those opportunities. Let's take a peek at Litecoin. I now have what I will call a love-hate relationship with Litecoin. It's still considered a dino coin, a quality asset, and it's obviously having a pretty good run here these past couple of days. Let's see. Yesterday was, I'm on the weekly. No wonder. Let's see what the daily looks like. Yes, also coming off back-to-back signals. Yesterday had a 8.5% candle, and today back to the upside. And RS flipping not just these timescape levels, but also the 0.618 fib right here. Really important here. So if Litecoin can hold on to this, then there's much more upside potential coming. And we have, let's see, looks like we've cleared the yearly open. So this is good. This is good to see. If Litecoin can hold above this timescape level, which has confluence with this 618 fib, I think that bodes well for continuing this momentum upward. So that's something to watch as well. If there's any other coins you want me to take a peek at real quick, I'll be happy to do so within reason. I'm anti-shit coinery, so at least maybe you show me some quality or something with great potential that the world has heard of before, and I will and I'll do a quick chart on it. In terms of what Bitcoin is doing, obviously Bitcoin holding remarkably well considering all the capital that's flowing towards ETH and altcoins, and this is important, and this is why I think that Bitcoin may not ever fall back into that 40 to 45% Bitcoin dominance range like we'd seen in prior alt seasons, because there's just so much institutional and now sovereign demand for Bitcoin. Holding strong here. I'm happy with where it sits on the chart. Again, dips are for buying, and you can use MTF mean reversion indicator to buy Bitcoin dips as well. Let's take a peek and see what kind of deviation might best suit that here. Let me see, really. So let's call up the BTC USDC on Coinbase, and like Bitcoin's not been as volatile, and I think that over time we're going to see less and less volatility out of Bitcoin. And so maybe that is worth a tighter deviation. Here's 1.5%. Let's see what 1% looks like. So in terms of how Bitcoin has been trading recently, it looks like a 1% signal or a 1% deviation, which again is pretty tight, would yield you some decent signals at this stage. If this is too aggressive for you, and again, as I mentioned last time, I actually did a tutorial on this the other day. I dollar cost average. So the fact that you see a flurry of signals here, this is a good thing to me. I take small position, small position, small position, small position, small position, another little bit here, another little bit here, and I dollar cost average my way into these positions here. So this is a great tool for doing just that. You can use it to scalp, you can use it to swing trade, and you can use it to dollar cost average on a longer term buy the dip strategy. Let's see who is in the chat. Hey, Alex, what would be perfect ratio for short-term portfolio growth? Bitcoin, ETH, Sol. Gosh, I will tell you, I'm personally way overweight on Bitcoin because I've been focused on that for so long, and I'm trimming that back because I'm adding to my ETH position, and I do have a little bit of Sol. I'm not sure that I would call it optimum or ideal, but I would tell you that I am currently at a 70% weight on Bitcoin, and I'm scaling that back. And I'm currently at like 2.5% on Solana and about 10% on ETH. And I'm trying to increase that ETH position. Probably to at least 25%. And I, of course, keeping some powder as well. So really depends if that's your full portfolio. For me, I'm top heavy on Bitcoin, ETH, and then Solana would be a small percentage. And it's growing. So, maybe that position grows over time. I'm staking it, so I'm just kind of letting it do its thing. Same with ETH. I staked, as of last night, I've staked everything I have on ETH as well. Mark, can I elaborate on Chainlink? Let me take a peek at Link. Let's go to the timescape. Let's go to that symbol is Link, right? Link is flying. And similarly to what we were just talking about with Litecoin, up above this 0.618 fib is noteworthy here, right? So a close above this is good. Look at this. Here's the yearly open, first week of the yearly open. This is critical right here. We've already crossed the yearly open, and this is that first week. This is a major hurdle. If Chainlink can close above this, then you've got lots of upside potential here and a nice gap really to get up to this 0.786. Even if you're just, and this is how I'm treating it. And I'm a super conservative trader. So this may not be what's ideal for you, but for me, I'm taking the money and running on a lot of these alts because I don't trust them. And I think that most of the market is looking at this as an opportunity to generate some fresh powder to rotate back into ETH and back into Bitcoin. And I'm doing exactly the same thing. So I get a good run, I take the money and run. I'll lock in my profits. And if it is, even if I'm not getting the top, I'm okay. I'll take that money and I'll rotate it into the next trade. So you do what works for you. That's what works for me. Yes, I leave money on the table, but I have no regrets whatsoever because I'm printing money and I am using it to scale my portfolio and compound. Hope that answers your question, man. I'll do this. I'll give you a quick look at Link on fire charts and see if we get, you see, I jumped the gun, but it looked like ETH resistance was stacking heavy at the all-time high. Let's take a peek at that again really quick. Let's see. That's now just moved up to 45 million. We were, I think, at what, 34 a minute ago. So another 10 million just got added to that. So maybe we get a little cool off. We get a little reprieve here. to find an ETH buying opportunity here pretty soon. Link. One of the great things about Fire Charts, not just the fact that we have a great data visualization tool of the order book and that we have the order flow data below it, but we're supporting uh, literally like 800 coin pairs, and there's no other heat map, no other heat map that I know of that does that. Looks like Link is getting some support here. Nice ladder of bid support to help keep things elevated here, but there is some profit taking going on here from whales, so be mindful of that. It's just a matter of what you're looking for out of this position. I would say it looks like we do have good support here, trying to keep things elevated above that timescape level and above that 618 fib. And if you get a close above that, then these other targets come into focus here. So looks pretty good. There is profit taking going on, and be mindful of that. So don't ape in. Look for that next opportunity as well. Well, guys, I'm going to have to call it here. I got to run into another appointment here, but I really appreciate you guys joining me on this. I hope you gained something valuable out of this little session, and I will do my best to chime back in and do it again very, very soon. But I got a busy rest of the week, and again, a move scheduled for next week. Looking forward to getting that new studio up and running and being able to bring you these analysis on a regular basis once I get this move behind me. All right. This is the money making season. Take advantage of it, my friends, but choose wisely. All, and that's easy for me to say. All alts are not created equally. Go for quality.